Okay, people. I just had this this chain of thoughts, literally from the start. Being criminally compromised in a false declaration made in my name, and literally being held criminally to ransom and to blackmail, and the invented brain injury, the invented mental illness, the invented threats to kill, instigated by the terrorists themselves. That led to the use of laws and legislation by false allegations and false pretenses, violating and raping my life, attacking my sanity, attacking my religion, attacking my nationality. Just negative impact, negative impact, negative impact. And then trying to turn everybody into victims while you're attacking your victim. That's what these terrorists in positions of power do. But it was after the QC investigation report that things got really, really, really ugly. Gerard McGreevy first tried mediation and offered me $5,000 to literally piss off. And then you had the Crown Solicitor, Mike Heron, who then tried to go after 350 restraining orders as part of their slandering, labelling, defaming, which is what these terrorists do. But in that court case, he said, I better watch my back. And he's never been held to account for it. And then it went on to moving my case to Wellington, starving me of all interactions with human beings, making it impossible for me to access rehabilitation, medical and treatment needs, my rights, my privacy rights, information. Everything was obstacle, barrier, wall, fence, trespass notices. I mean, say, I was the one who wouldn't go near their offices. And when I did actually go to their office, after refusing to go to their office for years, they threatened and intimidated me. I then went to the police and I made a complaint. And that's when I was literally had it turned around, and then they applied for 350 restraining orders. It's no matter what you do, it's never, you need a witness at all times, you need cameras at all times, you need the evidence at all times. And those in power, they cover up all their evidence at all times. So after years of abuse, threats, intimidation and violence at the hands of these terrorists, and I call them terrorists because that's what they are, I entered into a settlement with them. It took me months to decide, but there was no other way out. I wanted to move forward, I wanted to move on, I wanted to get the best medical treatment money could buy that was offered. And they were offering me $150,000. That wouldn't even cover my legal bills, and that's the God's honest truth, and I've got proof of that. It wouldn't even cover a quarter of my legal bills. Actually, it wouldn't even cover a tenth of it, I don't think. Anyway, it was way short of what I wanted, but they were offering me best medical treatment and then my own self-employed business on top of that. And from there, it went from bad to worse, because I wanted some justice and accountability as well for the malicious, criminal, abusive, violent behaviours that I had to be subjected to, that I was subjected to by these malicious, criminal, abusive, violent bastards in positions of power. And so it led to the secret meeting at Parliament, the reneging of their agreement, their declaring their agreement as no longer in effect so they could take up their malicious criminal prosecutions. They're instigating the criminal blackmail, threat to kill, criminal harassment, none of which existed. This is the demented, deranged, delusional, criminally insane behaviours of these terrorists in power trying to bully and abuse and slander and label and defame and intimidate to get me to literally become their prisoner, their hostage, their captive. And so they can continue to run this organised crime, defrauding run system. And I mean, they say it's worth their while to do that. It's worth billions. So then they had me state criminal kidnapped on malicious criminal charges. And from that day to this, I have not had 1 ounce of rehabilitation, not 1 ounce of medical or treatment needs, not 1 ounce of a meeting, Not one investigation, nada. So I hope you understand the last tape that I just made. This is about carrying out the ultimate crime behind a position of power. This is about paying people to be your criminals. This is about those in positions of power who had the secret meeting at Parliament lining their own pockets, giving themselves promotions, giving themselves honours on the Queen's honours list. These people are terrorists. Believe me, they are terrorists. There's no in-between with them. They want all the evidence kept off the... They want it kept out of the public arena. That's where the media are also criminals in this case. The media of New Zealand do not report the criminality of those in power because they're being paid by those in power. Listen to me carefully. The media of New Zealand do not report any crimes committed by those in power. That's what they get paid for. They get paid to commit crimes, to cover up crimes, to obstruct and pervert the courses of justice in crimes. The media of New Zealand will only report on things they can't avoid. 99% of the time, they spend all their time focusing on the US, the UK, Australia, so that people are distracted with other people's shit while they carry out their crimes in this Nazi, fascist, communist, sadist, vigilante, organized crime run country, because it uses it all. And the people running it are the biggest criminals on the planet. People vote parties into power. Parties are not parties, they're gangs. They've got their own agenda. They do little things for some people, but on the whole of it, they commit crimes. They commit crimes. They're not civil actions. They're civil jurisdictions, but they're using their civil jurisdictions to commit their crimes on behalf of the country. What's best for the country? Yeah, well, what's best for the country is not always what's best for the country. It's what's best for the individual who's getting paid a fortune to literally cover up their own crimes. So it's really about a world run on the ultimate fraud. New Zealand wants to not compensate anybody. The only compensation they want to hand out is for Maori land. It's organised crime. They're not running rehabilitation. So you have to realise that these people had me state criminal kidnapped. They used the law to do it. They used false allegations to do it, and then they're setting me up for criminal blackmail under Section B of the Crimes Act, saying that I proved my innocence on the most part, on what I was able to. But my lawyer screwed me on the rest of it. No medical professionals, I was just screwed. Just malicious, belligerent, criminal behaviours even of the courts, and coming into a courtroom and pointing fingers in front of it, in front of a jury at a victim. No, that's how the police, the Crown Law Office, the Ombudsman's Office, the Cabinet of Ministers, ACC, and even the Ministry of Justice themselves. That's the criminality they're involved in. That's how they try and get their victims labelled, because you're dealing with terrorists. So, to get justice, I need millions of dollars to bring every one of these terrorists to account. In the interim, I'm being held criminally to blackmail and ransom. I'm being held in Mexican standoffs, and nobody's answering a fucking question. The only one I've got to actually deal with is a GP who is pleading ignorant. I don't have any medical notes to go by. So what the fuck has he been doing for the last 8.5 years? I keep asking myself. Because I was so traumatised. I am run down. I mean, I've reached the peak of my stress levels a long time ago. And now it's starting to affect my heart. And it's just affecting me muscle-wise, fatigue-wise. Yeah, exhaustion. I mean, you say it's you're dealing with a million issues at the same time. And there's no one, no one is actually addressing any of the issues because you don't have the money to do it. Because Kiwis are not very generous people when it comes to actually helping somebody. They want well paid for it. I'm sure that they do a lot of work that are just small issues. But when the issue starts off small in 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1024, like all the way through it. That's what these people do. They just double the problems, the conflicts. They double them all the time. Now it must be I'm sure it's up to the millions of conflicts now. And I just wanted to document that. These people committed criminal kidnapping and no one reported it. These people have pulled every dirty, low-life, underhand action that anybody can commit. The media have turned a blind eye to it. The Ombudsman, Cabinet of Ministers, the Crown Law Office, the police, the Solicitor Generals, the Governor General, the Commissioners of Health and Disability, Privacy and Human Rights. Nobody takes up your case, right? So when I say to you, these people are only hell-bent on destroying my life, that's all they're hell-bent on. No matter how many crimes they commit, you're the one who pays the price. The victim is the one who pays the price, while these terrorists remain in positions of power. And this is what society turns a blind eye to. Because, quite frankly, Kiwis, you're the most gullible. You have you've got no balls whatsoever. You sit there and you vote criminals into power as long as it's not destroying your life. But yet, should be a lot better than they are. And they're not a lot better than they are because you're all selfish looking after each individual person. You don't care about anybody. You listen to somebody shout about, I want to help you, or somebody giving this nice speech. And then you actually take it in. And when they get into power, they do nothing. They do nothing. No one is held criminally to account because the laws of this country allow people to commit their crimes. They're one-sided. And you just have to start realizing that. And if you don't like what I say about you, that's your problem, not mine. If I see an injustice, I stand up to it. If I see someone is right and someone's wrong, I state my case. I don't mince meat my words either. And there's not too many people can win an argument with me when it comes to facts. Yous all think yous are smart, yous all think yous are intelligent, yous all think yous are educated. Yous aren't. What yous are is a bunch of fucking robots. And they're just walking all over the top of you. And you'll destroy one victim's life after the other. Well, I'm one person. They committed crimes against me and they are going to be held criminally to account. And I don't care if it's... I gave you all the opportunity, every opportunity, to get my life out of harm's way. And to address the vigilantism and state terrorism of these people involved. So that's my standing on the matter.